Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. Mama B, how you doing?
Good. We got 3 more no-fur slaves,
That's right, you did.
one of which is a bona fide cleric who just might be able to be converted over to the mother's ways, or I don't know, reconverted over the true ways of Martha.
Maybe. So, do you haul all these people back to your cave?
We do. I
Are
think
you sure you want to haul them back to your cave? Because if they come back to your cave, they'll know how to get there.
Yeah, I think we take them to the fort, to the Red Moon Cave,
Okay,
which is a little
so
more of a military outpost, and that's where the other 2 no-furs are being held.
All right, so that'll be a couple of days for you guys to walk there, I think. That's 20-something miles from wherever you were.
Yeah. So I don't think I think we probably split the groups.
Okay.
So maybe I'll just roll another kobold random encounter to keep the dice warm.
So you take
So
15 with you?
Yeah, Mama B. I'm gonna make it. This is in addition to Mama B. I don't know if that's typically how these things get. So 15 regular kobolds, Mama B, and the 3 prisoners go to Smuggler's Pass, the fort at Smuggler's Pass. Bramblewood maybe is the kobold name for it, or are those human names?
These are all human names. Yeah.
Nah. All right, so the 16 of us plus the 3 prisoners go to the Red Moon Cave. The remaining, however many, go back to, what is the remaining?
7. 6.
7. 6. Return to the Moon Cave and the women folk, the pregnant women folk, and then the rest of us. Yeah, the rest of us make our way. Okay. Probably takes us, I think kobolds, it's probably 2 days.
2 days, sounds about right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So 2 days later, all of you are at this place. I think you've probably left them gagged the whole time so that we don't have to deal with conversation.
Yeah, I converse at the priest, probably. Probably a lot of it is in kobold, but I'm enlightening him in the true ways of Martha. I don't know if he's still charmed after all this, but
good question. But anyway, what do you do once you bring them all back there?
Put them to work. So how many kobolds are at the Red Moon Cave? Is it enough to keep these humans in line? We may need to see if we can get our hands on some better shackles and whatnot.
Let's see. I think if he gets attacked, he gets like an extra save.
Yeah, that's why I was hoping an overbear wouldn't count along those lines, rather than smacking him on the head. And I tried to explain to him over the following days that it was in his best interest. He was going against the mother's wishes by ending these lives. So I think it may be reasonable for him to get another save, but my intention was to keep him charmed if possible, and probably go about charming the other members of his party over the following days.
Do you want to cast 2 charm person spells then?
Yeah. Over the course of so the next morning I'll cast another charm person on the warrior.
Okay.
Who's more likely to? The warrior is probably most likely to try and escape, so he gets a save. Okay. And the next morning I'll do it on the other one. Although the next we'll be reaching. Yeah, we'll be reaching the Red Moon Cave before I cast it on the 3rd. Mm-hmm. We're still going to keep them restrained for their own good. No-furs can tend to violence if they're not properly properly restrained. Okay. So we're probably going to have to be a little more watchful of our of our wards.
Yeah, you make it back to the Moon Cave. I'm sorry, the Red Moon Cave, with your no-furs intact. They see the 2 other no-furs who are there working, and there's this kind of look that moves between all of them. It's like, wait a minute, what is going on here? Is this part of a zoo?
Well, yeah, we put them. I mean, I don't know how much kobolds think about what goes on inside a no-fur's head, but I think we'll bring them all together, they'll probably all. I mean, we'll now be tying them up with rope, and I think we're gonna set about trapping the cave. This will be the one thing that the Nofers are not being used out for labor, so they won't necessarily know where the kobold pit traps are. We'll secure it in case any Nofers try to get out.
Right.
So we've got these extra 15 kobolds that I bring to the cave. They're all armed with this. Well, they're not all. We've got our 6 shovels. We've got the ropes and things. So we go about kobold trapping, like the
entryway,
the vicinity of the cave. Probably all sorts of pit traps and
devious things to prevent any Nofers from escaping.
Yeah, the Nofers can work. They probably put them to work or continue working them on the palisade wall if that needs doing, and maybe chopping down trees and blah blah blah. But if they get the wrong idea, we'll make sure that there's trouble waiting for them should they decide to run.
Okay. So now you've got them all. You've got all the things you need.
So I think we skip forward a couple of days? I will if we.
Sure. Is there anything?
In the trap. I don't know how long it takes to do that trapping, or if that's something that I command be done and gets taken care of later.
It'll probably just take a few days to do, so we can skip forward a few days.
Okay. So then I will make sure everyone gets a dosing of the charm person.
The charm spells have been laid.
I imagine there's probably going to be a mix of charmed individuals and uncharmed individuals. And maybe occasionally someone becomes uncharmed, and I don't know. So they can play that suspicion game of, wait, are you charmed or are you not? Mama B speaks a smattering of common, so what is the conversation like amongst slaves? They know
that you speak common. They've heard you chattering at this person the whole time. So they kind of keep it to high-level vocabulary that is outside of your understanding as much as possible. But you do catch kind of a smattering of what's going on, which boils down more or less to how the hell did we get into this position where we are slaves to kobolds? This is all your fault. No, it's all your fault. No, we shouldn't have taken this job. Are you insane? How the hell did we get out of here?
Did the previous kobold did the previous Nofer slaves make the transition easier? Like just finding this lovely charmed woman and her
there's some bonding going on between the two groups of human slaves. The woman and man who've been around for a little while
they were like, it's not that bad. I mean, they work us, but they feed us and they protect us.
There's definitely some Stockholm syndrome that's setting in, especially combined with the charm persons. It's making it really easy to get into that. Well, they're not that bad. Like, life is pretty good. We don't have to worry about taxes, and we just do some work and then come home, and it's really freeing in some ways.
They're naked, aren't they? Everyone's stripped naked at this point.
Yeah.
Oh God. The priest is the one that I'm most worried about. Has he repented his ways, or is he?
No, he looks very hurt every time he looks at you. There's that. I trusted you, I tried to protect you, I thought you were my friend, and here you have me stripped naked, digging holes for you.
I don't think Mama B interacts with them much, but when she does, she reassures him that this is the mother's wishes and that one day he'll understand. And, Mama's got to give tough love sometimes. Sometimes if you come into a forest with the intent of slaying some of the mother's creatures, you gotta repent for your sins and dig some ditches. Apparently this doesn't go over well. But,
no, definitely not.
So I think Mama B will be here to oversee the transition. If it doesn't seem like this is going to be a permanent setup, then I may need to separate the prisoners. I don't know. But I'll be hanging out at the Red Moon Tribe. I'll eventually send back those moons that were amongst our number. And things I think settle down until the DM has something to say about it.
Sure. Well, nothing really happens for a few weeks, or for the rest of the week. It goes rather smoothly. These people are just doing the things that they're doing.
Are they able? Does the priest ever try memorizing or casting spells? Is there any attempt made by those that don't happen, or that that resist my charms to uncharm their companions?
You don't see any
Are
such
there
things happening during
infighting?
the 5 or 6 days that you're there.
Okay.
It all goes surprisingly well.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, you probably return to your cave.
Yeah, yeah. I will trust. So it seems when things seem to be running smoothly, we've got traps set in the woods around in case in case any humans try to make a run for it. They're excuse me. Yeah, they're restrained but on a long leash. I think like literally, like they've got long slack between their maybe their wrists are.
Okay. Well, it doesn't matter for right now.
I don't know. I'm gonna trust the overseeing of the slaves to
Nimrod,
right. Who now has a steel longsword. Or should I? Would it be weird to give the overlord of the night a longsword? No, I think I'll hang on. It's fine.
You totally, yeah. I mean,
okay.
That's a pretty intimidating thing. This guy's using your captor is using your weapon. That's
well,
solid.
he had the steel short sword before, but I think that will need to go to some sub chief now.
Sure,
I think now wields the long sword as a two-handed sword.
Yeah, it's been a while since Nimrod has joined your side, and Nimrod has proved surprisingly.
Nimrod was the Moon from the start. He was promoted to the chief of the Red Moons after Mama B.
Well, then Nimrod has taken over the Red Moons very well. They've all made the transition to embracing him as a leader. So the 4 moons that you've stationed with the Red Moons, you don't need them there anymore. The transition has gone smoothly.
How many Red Moons are there total?
19 total, including Nimrod.
I think can we add those 4 moons to the Red Moon tribe?
Sure, I can just subtract. The thing is that your tribe is pretty low now. Okay. You've got 14 adults total. Okay.
I'm worried about leaving 4 human slaves with that, or 5 human slaves with that few kobold overlords.
Sure. So you're going to lose at least 2 males and 2 females from your tribe. Okay. The Moon tribe themselves are down to 10, although you do have 2 pregnant females who will be giving birth in 3 weeks.
Okay. All right.
So this is days later. You're back at your camp when who should come by but the Long Paw named Nub Nub, the leader of the Long Paw clan tribe.
Am I back at the main cave at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
She comes by to tell you that she has had a visit from the Wet Furs and the Stinky Butts. They have joined together in some sort of pact, as they like to call it.
A pact of pacts.
Yes.
Where are these tribes located?
They are located to the northeast, even further than the Thistle Forest. They've got territories out in this region.
Okay. Are there any other packs in the area I should be aware of?
There are many packs in this area.
So is this triangle more or less all moon territory now, though?
Like, no, there's other packs in between. There are a few that are settled in specific places. Most of them are nomadic right now. There are Wet Furs, Stinky Butts, Bad Moons, Long Tongues, Broken Tooths, Gray Backs, Back Scratchers, Long Snouts, Half Moons, Fat Packs, Fast Foots, Sharp Sticks, Dirty Foots, Red Claws, Black Tooths, Long Hairs, and Bad Breaths. There are many, many kobold packs out there.
Wow. Okay. Can I draw the size of our territories for those given caves? Is that a thing?
Sure. So a kobold territory is generally a 7-mile on a side square.
Oh, square.
Yeah. You could do it as a circle if you want, or as a square, whatever, but it should be about 7 miles across.
Okay, you wanna... For some reason it's not letting me snap to a grid, but that'll be fine. So that's the Moon Cave.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should update that that little red circle with an ogre skull.
Oh, okay. I'll find a skull to put there.
Cool. So we hear word that... I can't have a copy. Oh.
There you go.
Right.
So you hear word that the Wet Furs and the Stinky Butts have joined together in some sort of super PAC, and that they have been approaching the Long Paws about creating a mega PAC to go back and reclaim some of the territory in the Bramblewood from the goblins and bugbears.
I correct the messenger that it's the long moons. And I think my plan will be to have Mama B and some of the moons head up north to go and meet with these tribes.
Okay.
And I don't know if there's role playing that needs to be done with those messengers, or if we can just gather and travel. So there's only 10 what you call them? It's only 10 moons,
including yourself. Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, let's hope that if I'm gonna take, including myself. Okay, so I'll take 5, including myself.
Okay.
One sword, 1 axe, and 2 spears.
Okay.
Let's have all of them with shields. So this will be like my honor guard and myself.
Okay.
So my 4 shields, and then that's assortment of weapons, including a steel short sword. So basically, all
right. So there are 4 male and 4 females that are not pregnant that you could take. Do you have a?
I'll take all 4 males.
Okay. Well, the expendable ones.
Yeah. And my plan will be to treat with this pact of packs. We'll see about putting them in their place later. For now, I think I want to meet with them and invite them to participate, or to send their pregnant mothers to participate to our fertility ritual as like a symbol of pact bonding.
Okay. So it takes a few days for you to get up to the Thistlewood, where the long moons are.
Mm-hmm.
I should name these guys now on my list so I don't forget. Long Moon.
I mean, maybe that takes a little while for them to adopt their new title.
So eventually you come to a meeting of kobold leaders. Mm-hmm. There is Nub Nub, the Long Moon female leader. There is Dibnog, the female Wet Fur leader. And there is Tuffluff, the male Stinky Butt leader.
Tough Butt or Tough
Tuffluff?
Tuffluff?
Tuffluff. Right. You get a good view.
Do we know each other?
None of you guys have ever met. But you get a good view of their pack size, because all their troops are here with them. All of their kobolds are here at this meeting. The Wet Furs have almost 50, and the Stinky Butts have a little over 40.
Are we meeting in the big tree or on some neutral ground?
Neutral ground, in between everything. You are meeting over here.
Okay. So it's some kind of clearing or something?
Yes, there's a little meadow out away from all these trees with a little creek running through it. The Stinky Butts have brought with them 3 deer to the meeting. And the Stinky Butt leader, Tuffluff, stands over on top of the pile of deer with an actual human spear, which is a 2-handed weapon for him, and proclaims this a feasting time for all kobolds.
Wow. I bow deeply. We thank you. We moons thank you for your hospitality. It's too big of a word for a kobold.
That's fine. As long as it's not in common, it's fine.
It is... Yeah, it's all in kobold. It is a pleasure to sniff you. My brothers and sisters.
The big bads. They have driven us from our homes. They have scattered us to the 4 corners of the wind. the big bads and their goblob underbellies. If we do not remove them, they will remove us.
Yes.
I am Great War Chief. You all join with me. We destroy big bads. We trample them. We weigh them down. Thrust, and he waves his spear, iron into their hearts. It's a bronze spear, though. We thrust iron into their eyes. We bring them low. I am Great War Chief Leader.
Mama Bee howls. He's... Yes. I have seen it foretold. Marta smiles upon the kobold peoples. The moon peoples will multiply fruitfully, and the kobolds will once again rule this forest.
Dibnog, the leader of the Wet Furs, howls along with you, and then steps forward and says, Tuffluff, you bring good deer, you bring good food, but your tribe too small to lead. I, Dignog, the greatest of the kobolds, shall lead. And there's a standoff between Dignog and Tuffluff. They begin to kind of circle each other on all fours, Tuffluff dropping his spear to the side in the ancient tradition of kobold wrestling. They circle, sniffing at each other's hind ends as they circle closer and tighter in a little spiral until they're basically a single circle moving around.
Oh, lordy. One of them is a male and one's a matriarch, right?
Yes, there's a patriarch and a matriarch here.
Yeah. I give them some sniffing space for a second.
Okay.
Does it look like they're about to to fight?
Yeah, it looks like they're about to go through the some sort of dominance battle between the two of them.
I will interpose myself. Brother, sister, you forget the true enemy. The big bads, the bad bads, the no-furs.
Who will lead?
We will all lead, I say, putting a hand on each of their chests.
They stop and look to you.
Your tribe, I say, patting whichever one had the larger tribe.
Dignog.
Need no be bigger than your tribe, if all tribes big tribes. Kobold babies for everyone. I have seen it in the stars.
There was much nodding and agreeing.
One tribe cannot be bigger than other tribe if both tribe big tribe. It's math.
Tribe too big to be small. Yes. Yes. They all agree with each other vehemently.
Come in. How many weeks out are we from?
3 weeks until
3 weeks.
Until the kobold mothers give birth, and you can do your momentous
How do
maturity.
kobolds tell time? Usually by suns and moons, right?
Suns and moons.
Yeah. Would 20 suns be real? Or can I tell? Is there a moon that I can reference that would coincide with?
Yeah.
We are the moon tribe. I don't have an astrology proficiency.
It's fine. It looks like they're going to be giving birth on the night of the full moon, an auspicious night.
Yeah. So I say on night of big moon, come to Moon Cave for big feast. Bring pregnant mother kobolds. We bless this birth and grow all tribes big and fat. Bless our alliance.
They howl alongside you. Excellent.
Yep. All right. So they agree to come to our fertility feast.
But they first want to know, should they launch the attack on the goblobs and big bads before or after the fertility ritual?
Okay, so I think we'll get down to brass tacks and fill me in on what's going on. So they're getting goblobs and big lobs from the east, like from the plains?
From the west. They want to come back and retake the Bramblewood and Smuggler's Pass.
Oh. Well, have I got news for you? Yeah, I'll tell them about the fortress. I mean, so I guess we're hanging out here for the evening or whatever. All the kobolds all the underling kobolds are given access to the deer. And we feast. Yeah, and so some point later that night I will tell them of our big bad, right? Big Lob. The Big Lob fort we have reclaimed.
They're most pleased to hear this.
And that we can use that as a staging point for the kobold conquest. Let's do it. I think it'll take to get everything organized, like 3 days. Blah blah blah. I think we should do it after the fertility feast.
Okay.
Yeah. So
The two packs agree to meet with you. They will get directions there. They'll have someone from the Long Moons show them the way. And that is that. You can head back to your fort, where there is inevitably another quest awaiting you.
Back to my cave or to my fort?
Back to your red square.
Okay. I think I will outfit Nimrod with leather armor if I haven't already. So I've got some human-sized leather armor
that can be scaled down.
Yeah, it would have been left to Nimrod at some point.
Okay, Nimrod. So he's got a steel longsword and leather armor.
Yeah. He's my sub chief.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Gotta look good.
13 AC, D8 damage.
Is leather +3 or is it +2?
Or
we just it's typically +2, but
it's typically +2. I've been slowly shifting everything towards a different weapon and armor system, where leather is 13.
Oh, ow.
And kobolds get +3 for their whatever is their armor in the monstrous manual, so 13 makes sense for them.
Oh, there's chainmail around too. I don't think we have the skills though to resize or figure out that. So that's just kind of in our treasure pile.
Yes.
Right. Is there any indication of the humans canoodling?
Yeah, you have definitely got reports about the human husband and wife and their canoodling. They canoodle frequently. Yes.
Is it regular enough that I could use my 3rd level spell to improve their fertility?
You want to improve fertility on the...
Maybe that's a waste on the slaves. Yeah, well, let's focus on the kobolds.
All right.
We'll think about that.
Okay.
So back at the Moon Cave, you said there's a quest awaiting?
Yes, there is. A few days pass when one of your kobolds reports that the ogre skull, the ogre skeleton, has been vandalized. And there are big footprints from other... Oh shit, I should have been using the real names for these guys. Other big footprints near the remains of the big one. It looks like 2 big ones came through. Took the holy skull with etchings. Left the skeleton, although took that skull too. Both the skulls are gone. The ribcage and spine has been dashed to pieces. Bones scattered around the floor. Does not look like work of animal.
Mama B goes to have a look herself and confirm.
Yeah, when you get there, sure enough, the ogre has been ripped apart. The bones are scattered all over the place, even cracked and broken. It looks like someone has intentionally damaged the skeleton that you had left. The skull of the ogre that you slew is gone, and the ceremonial skull that he had been working etchings into is gone as well.
was all so beautifully arranged, just as the mother liked it. The skull encased in vines, entangled in vines, if you will.
What does Mama B think of this? Is this a successful warding off of enemies, or is this someone who's infringing on her territory?
Both. I think the ward did its job. The ogres obviously didn't cross this boundary, but they showed disrespect. I don't think this is warranting or this is provoking immediate action, but it concerns Mama B. I think we should scout into the ogre lands. I'm gonna send 3, hopefully 3 red moons if they are around.
Okay.
But
sure, you can send 3 red moons.
I think it's mostly the red moons, and if I don't know that there's long moons as far south, but the red moons are mostly responsible for the patrol of the hills, just because there's more of them and they're slightly more militarized group.
Okay. So why don't you roll me 3d20 for the scouts? Higher is better. I'm not going to tell you where the breaking points for success and failure and that sort of thing are. Ooh,
nice.
Very nice.
So that day they're just going to sort of venture out into the hills to the south and see if they can find where the ogres are living.
So one of your scouts, a kobold named Yarlop, comes back to report to you that he has found the most disturbing thing of all. The big ones have a camp right in between your 2 bases. It's just over here, in between these 2 hills. It's not enough that there's an ogre camp there, or a big one camp. The big ones seem to be serviced by a small tribe of kobolds that they have subjugated.
How many?
Less than there are days in a moon. But more than 2 tens of days.
20 to 30. All right. How many big ones?
2d10 big ones. No.
Oh, lordy.
He holds up a full paw of 5.
Can I recall if the sniff butts and the
stinky butts
and the whatever do they want to wage war just against goblobs or big ones as well?
Their rallying cry was across the goblobs and the big lobs, but they were generally speaking about big bads in general. You know,
yeah. But they did. I couldn't remember if they said big lob or big one.
No, they were talking big lobs and goblobs.
All right. Well, I'm not ready to provoke. Yeah, to poke the sleeping ogre yet. But I think I want to scout out their lair myself.
Okay.
So I'll go where maybe this will be the next day. I don't know what time it is or how far it is.
That doesn't
matter. It looks like a full day there and back. But kobolds are somewhat not nocturnal. What's the both?
Omniternal?
Something like that. Right, so I'm gonna go.
Binaural? Something like that.
I don't know. Okay. I'm gonna go scout their lair out myself.
Diurnal. Diurnal? Diurnal?
Diurnal, yeah.
Diurnal? That's during the day.
Okay, yeah.
Nocturnal. Maternal. Maturtial. Morning or evening. I guess there's nothing that's awake all night and all day, because nothing does that.
But there's something that's either.
Yeah, there's twilight and evenings and mornings. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Where were we? Right. So you want to go and scout it out another day.
Yeah.
So, why don't you make me a perception check as you creep into their lands, versus their perception check of slightly less.
Yeah, give me just
a scouting
give
trail.
me just a second to make sure I've got my spell list how I would want it. I think instead of prayer, what's the terrain like in this place? Is there
hilly.
A lot of hilly? Are there rocks?
Yes.
Melt into stone seems like an interesting escape spell. Some etherealness. That may be what I'm looking after. Yeah, we're doing etherealness.
Okay.
And the rest I think will be the same. Looks pretty good to me. All right. So the following day, Mama B is going to sneak into the ogre. What level is pass without a trace? It's first level. And a footprints. I should be using this more. It only targets myself, but that's a cool first level spell.
Wow. So you come across the area. Well, actually, give me a perception check. I want to oppose it.
Yeah. My perception is 13.
Ooh,
not good.
Not great. So you come poking in, looking around, and by the time you spot the camp, there's already a trio of kobolds off to the side, looking at you, whispering between themselves as to, well, you're not sure what, but they've already spotted you and they're looking at you.
Kobolds spot me.
Kobolds spot you, not an ogre.
This probably alerts Mama B to recheck her surroundings and make sure that she hasn't accidentally walked into an ogre camp.
Right. Well, you can see the camp just between these two hills over there. They've got what looks to be a crafted cave inside the hill that is reinforced with logs and stones. Currently, there are kobolds digging out the cave, bringing out buckets of dirt, and tossing it down the hill, and then going back inside. There are two ogres overlooking these that are digging out. There's one ogre asleep on a hill in the sunshine with a butterfly flying around his belly. You can't see the other two ogres. Maybe they're not even around. Who knows where they are? But there's these three kobolds that have a couple of rabbits in their hands that they were bringing back to camp that spot you, looking at you.
Put my hand over my mouth, shh, and conceal myself in a bush nearby.
They start making their way over towards you.
Oh, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. No let big ones see.
Who are you?
I'm Mama B. Haven't you heard of me?
No. We are
what tribe?
Google, Grumpkin, and Potluck.
What tribe?
The Bad Moons.
They're also a moon. Have I heard of the Bad Moon tribe, or is it just
this is another.
Perhaps
there's Bad Moons and Half Moons, and I think those are the other moon tribe. They're the people out here.
I'm Mama Moon. We help kill big ones. Free
Their eyes alight.
Free all moons.
You kill big ones? Big ones keep captive bad moons. Keep some locked away in cage. Any bad moon no do job? All bad moons suffer.
All right. I will send them back to their slavery.
Do you say anything to them before you send them back?
I mean, just to like deliver hope. I think I'll sneak. Let's see. Where did they? They're in a cave, right? They're being held in a cave somewhere. This is just hunters on the outskirts.
Yeah.
I can't see the rest of the kobolds. They're all like.
No, you can see some of them working, bringing dirt out of the cave, but only a few at a time.
Yeah, five big ones. I don't know how many kobolds I would need to take that on, but it'd be rough.
What is Mama B gonna do? There's a lot of these guys about. You're just gonna leave these poor innocent kobolds the slaves of these ogres?
Of course not, but a lot of ogres. I'm debating when to strike. I need my full strength with me. Red Moon's long. I mean, it may be prudent to wait until all of the tribes gather and see if I can drive them against the bad-bads.
Okay. So that group of three heads off.
I tell them to bring them tidings from Mama B. And yeah.
Okay.
Let them know that help is on the way after the next moon.
All right. You return back to your camp, and we can just skip forward since there's nothing else happening. The remaining 3 weeks until it's time for the ceremony.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to want to do.
Okay. Why don't we take a break so that when we come back, we can focus on the ceremony with fresh eyes. See you guys on the other side of our break. Bye-bye.